Except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Does Matthew chapter 23, verse 1 apply to martial arts instructors? Let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look. Matthew chapter 23, verse 1. This is the Bible, in case you didn't know. A warning against hypocrisy. This is the New International Version. Then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for people to see. They make their phylacteries, I don't know what that means. They make their phylacteries wide and the tassels on their garments long. There must be some type of some type of clothing that shows status. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to be called rabbi, which I think may be, it translates as teacher, by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And do not call anyone on earth father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Very, very interesting indeed. It sounds like you've got some biblical evidence to go against a lot of the pomp and circumstance, and you could say trappings of traditional martial arts, especially the way they teach them, at least in the United States, all the bowing and the formal titles and all the different uniforms and, the ornamental belts and things like that. So, and we have different titles that we are called by, or we call each other by. So it sounds like you've got a really good reason not to do that, right? No, you don't. Because he said the law. We're not teaching the law. We are teaching martial arts. It's a case of apples and oranges, in my opinion. No, that doesn't apply to us. Are you kidding me? The only part that I think applies to us is that the greatest among you should be a servant. So you should be a servant in a way to your students. But now, with the way a lot of people act nowadays, this hard-headed bunch of people that tend to come through every once in a while, they really don't respect humility. That's because we got a problem in our culture with, I think we have an anger problem. There's a Slate article that says it too that I'm also going to make a video about. We have an anger problem in this society. We have rampant arrogance. So that doesn't really apply to us. Jesus, in that instance, is specifically talking to teachers or preachers of the word and preachers of the law. And we're not doing that. We're teaching an activity. So we are instructors. We are instructors. And most instructors will tell their students, if they greet them in the marketplace, to not bow to them or anything like that. Students are doing anyway. I know I've done that. The teachers I've had, just out of habit. But you don't know. But it's not the same thing. I mean, it's good for us to be humble, and it's good for us to want to serve our students. But we're not doing something wrong with the ornamentation that we have. It's just a part of that particular martial activity. And if you want to use what's going on in Matthew 23, verse 1, as a way to justify being disrespectful towards your instructor, or just not having to pay respect to your instructor, I can't call anybody a teacher or master because it says that. No, that's not what it's saying at all. Basically, I think what Jesus wanted us to do is whatever we're teaching, but especially ministers, don't let it go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. Be humble. Like that song that's popular. Be humble. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. So Probably thought I was going to start slamming on my martial arts community and saying, look at the Bible, it tells you not to act a certain way. I think the only thing you can carry away from that is just be humble. And other than that, it's apples and oranges. They may be both fruit, but we're not teaching the same thing because, again, we're not preachers when we're in class, even though a lot of us will draw from our faith. But our job there is to teach a skill. Yes, be an example. But our job there is to instruct. It is to instruct a martial art. Peace.